everybody, and welcome to Butt Cheeks Just Being Cheeky. Today, we're going to teach you how to make a toggle, and for today, we're going to use the body as an example. And so, the first thing you're going to want to do with it is when you have your avatar in your preview window here, you're going to want to either click on body in your hierarchy or you can click it in your preview tab, and you're going to need your animation thing up.
And how you
And
get animation is by going to Windows and going to animation and clicking next. Or you can go over here and add new tab and then go to animation.
yes, and so
When,
once you have that,
when you're done going to the animation and you're doing all that, body off is the first one to make. And how to make it is you click the check mark like that, and then when it's done, you want to go to if this is off, go to body on, and then put this on like that, and but record when you're doing that, and then you go to create for body off and body on.
yep. So just when you're creating a new clip,
Oh, things going.
just make sure you hit.
But bitch,
Sorry.
bitch.
So when you're just creating your toggle, just make sure you hit record first. You have your body selected. You can either have it selected before or after you hit record. It doesn't really matter. So you just make sure you hit record first and then turn it off. And when you record, we already made these animations, so we're just talking you through it. But when you have the record on and you make a change like that, it should be shaded in red so you know that the change is being recorded. And then you just press record again to end, and that should be your animation created. And when you're making the off toggle, you would hit the record button, and when you're doing the check mark, you'd want to check it off and check it back on. And then the check mark should be red as well, and then you would end the recording, and that would be your animation made.
Mhm.
So after that, the next step would be we would go up to the
Animator.
animator tab,
And then
yes,
layers.
and
Layers. And then you want
in
to go
layers,
to projects. You want to scroll down though. Okay, so go to
y-
projects.
yes, you want
And
to
then
go to
you want to search for
projects,
FX. It
and
should just
FX.
say FX. If it says FX and something else, that could be also it could be it. So you want to click on it, make sure that's right, and you want to stay on FX. Do not click out of FX because you would have to start all the way over on the toggles.
Yes. So yeah, very important. Have your FX control here, and then you'd press this plus button, and it automatically throw a new layer all the way down at the bottom, and we already named it body here.
And then when you're done with that, you want to click this and you want to scroll all the way out to the weight. The weight
Yep. So
needs
you
to
want to
be
make
on
that
1.
one. If you don't do that, it'll disappear. It's, you'll have to remake it, and it's annoying.
And when
And
you're
then
done
you
with
go to
that,
parameters.
you want to do the same thing. You want to go click this, especially when it's a toggle. You want to go to bool, and then over here, you want to name it the same exact thing as it is over here. So you want to copy paste that and make sure it's correct because it will not work properly if it's in a different name.
Right. And so once you have those made and you're in this screen, basically,
The animation to make me earlier, you're gonna want to do is put body off second and body on first.
yes. And if you don't know where your animations went in your resources or assets or whatever, then you could
Whatever
just search it
you
in the search
named
bar here.
the animations, you want to search it up and then it'll come up. There you go.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So since we named it body, we'll search body. And we have body off and body on here, the ones we made. And you would just drag it up into the grid here and place them up here. And then once you have them up there, you would right click on one. You want to make sure like she said, you want to make sure that body on is up here first, because where it says entry here, this is how you enter your this is how your avatar enters the state, enters the world and everything. So you want to make sure you enter with it on. So after that, to connect the two, you would right click and click make transition. And once you do that, you would left click on body off, and it would create this little line here with this arrow here you can click on.
Mhm.
And then you would make transition, right click, make transition, click down on this one to create your other. So it's just a little loop cycle. So this is how it works when you select the toggle in VR chat for when it
Or
goes
for
off and on.
anything.
Yeah, for anything you're using it for. So with the arrows here, what you're going to need to do is
This would
when you,
be on setting. So if it's settings like this, you want to click on setting and then because it drags it down. So this is supposed to be on 0.75, same with this one, but you want to have all of them 0. And then once it's done, check mark it. That goes on
yep,
to both sides. Both sides are supposed to be 0 and then uncheck marked. And then this one, the body that the toggle we just made, we want to click on the thing and then we want to set this true and or false. False means, and do you want to explain to false and true means?
false means that if you're setting an object as a false value, then it doesn't exist. It's not there. So false equals off, always. So if you want to set it to true, if you want to transition from here, you'll want to transition to false. So you're going to set the value as false. So for the other transition, you want the value to be true. So you want it to exist. So true equals on and false equals off. So you also want to make sure after you set your settings values, this is true for both things. After you fix all this stuff, you go down here into conditions, and you want to make sure you have your body selected as your inside of your conditions, because that's the object you're triggering for the toggle. And then if you're setting the toggle to off, you want to go to false because you don't want it to exist. And then for the other one, if you want to toggle it back on, you set it to true so it does exist. And then that is basically your toggle made for your controller. So that's programmed in to be recognized for when we actually make the toggle itself. So this is done here, and the next step would be to click on the avatar name
Go to
and
scene
scroll.
and then go to the avatar name.
Yes. And then you'd scroll down until you find parameter VRC expression parameters. And then you scroll all the way down,
And then you want to go
and
to
there's,
plus, and then you want to put the same thing as what you named, and then make sure it's on bool.
yes,
If you already made something on accident, just click that.
yeah,
And the bottom's always going to be duplicated, so.
yes. So just make sure, same thing here, make sure it's spelled the exact same way with capitals and everything. Make sure it's just set to bool, and then that's your parameter made. And then we can move on to the next step. So we click on the avatar again, and then we go to main menu VRC expressions menu. And then you would
Want to go
press the plus.
plus, and then you want to add new control. So say new control, adding your own custom icons would be right here. So let's say I want to change it to this. For some odd reason, there's that changed. I want to change it again to back how it was. And we want to go there.
Right.
And then you can name it as whatever you want. So let's say I wanted to name it that. You can, and then make sure it's on the thing that we just made, and then it'll be toggle.
Yep, and that's your toggle created. And it'll be on your radial menu or whatever menu you have in the game you're making it for. And yeah, that is how you create a toggle.
Join my Discord.